Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another chill chat conversation. Is this a part or connected to the purpose that my life is supposed to fulfill? Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another chill chat conversation. The last time we talked about how we are designed with purpose. I wanted to continue that video because I promised you guys a part 2. I know in the last video we talked about how we are all created the same physically in the image of God, but we are designed differently for our own individual purpose. I do know that, well, I can reflect back to when I was coming up, and I can identify some of the talents or skills that God put in me. And of course, as you're growing up and as you're going through your day-to-day and you're finding out, hey, I may be good at this, and hey, I may be good at that, and I definitely ain't good at that, and I better not ever try that again. It's not like you're consciously thinking, oh, is this a part of the original design that God designed for me? Is this a part or connected to the purpose that my life is supposed to fulfill? We don't think like that. It is normal not to think like that. It's normal to just be praised for the things that you are doing well and criticized for the things that you are not. But I am here to inform you that those things that you noticed within yourself growing up, those talents, those skills, there were little spotlights. There were a little glimpse into the purpose that God has designed for you. God has gifted me with the ability to do hair. I have been doing hair for years. Actually, my mom, she does hair really good. And I would sit and I would just watch her because I was just fascinated with it. And I would sit and I would watch her do hair. And I remember it was a Sunday afternoon after church, and I was like, man, I want my hair braided, I want something done to my head. My mom was busy, and my sister, she had company over. And I went upstairs, and there was some weave in the cupboard from when my mom did our hair before. And I was like, I'm just gonna try it. I had the little wooden beads and everything. And I stood up there in that mirror, and I did, let's know how you do the 3 sections of braids. I parted that thing, braided the section, parted the thing, braided the section, part the top and braided. I walked downstairs. My mom was like, who just did your hair? I said, I did. Do you like it? And she was like, who did your hair? I was like, Mommy, I did. Don't you like it? And she was just standing there at all. I was actually shocked too. I was looking at myself like, okay, I did that. And I even found the picture of it. I wish I wouldn't have to find a picture of it so I could post it for you guys, or at least add it to the video. And I was like, wow. My mom was like, are you serious? My sister comes downstairs, her friend comes downstairs, and they're all just looking at my hair. And it was like from then on, it was just like I had this confidence about me. It's like I can feel that was something that was put in me for me to do, and I carried it out. I've been doing hair ever since. Mom started having me do my sister hair, and I started gaining clientele and everything. It was just an amazing experience. And so growing up, I thought that, okay, that's the path I'm supposed to take. In high school, I took cosmetology, gained a few hours, got a scholarship and everything. Well, it came down to the year after graduation, and I was applying to cosmetology schools, built up hours from taking the course all throughout high school. And so I was like, surely it's going to be easy to find a school, you know, I already got some hours and things like that. And it nothing was working out. It was just like, it wasn't even that I wasn't accepted into the school. It was either the timing of something, or it was just random stuff that just didn't seem to work out. And so a whole year goes past. Now, I'm a kind of person that I get extremely depressed if I'm not doing anything. If I'm not working, or if I feel like I'm going through my day without being productive, like, I get really hard on myself, and it's a lot of negative self-talk, and I just get really depressed. Like, I have to be doing something at like almost all the time. And so I remember I would go to church, or I would, be in a conversation with people, and they'd be like, "What you do today?" And I'd be like, "Well, I cleaned the house, I had a couple of clients, blah, blah." And it just didn't seem fulfilling for me. It was just like, I felt kind of empty. I felt like I wasn't fulfilling my duties or something. It was very disheartening. And so finally, this is a year later, I finally get down on my knees and I'm like, "Lord, there's something I'm missing." I said, obviously, what I'm trying to do is not what you are planning for me to do. So please guide me in the direction that I need to go in. Before that conversation, it was probably about maybe 2 weeks before I was graduating. I set my mom down and I had a conversation with her, and I was just like, "Look, I'm not going to college. I'm not going to college. I'm going to go to cosmetology school. I'm not going to college. I'm not smart enough." I don't know why I thought that. I actually made really good grades in school. I always liked education. I always liked learning. But in my mind, I had it in my mind that I was not smart enough to go to school. So I sat her down and I told her that I was not going to go to college. I was just going to go to cosmetology school, and that was going to be it. And my mom, being me and my mom, she was very supportive of me. She was like, "Well, baby, if that's not what you feel like you need to do, then as long as you feel like you're following the leading of the Lord, you go ahead and do what you got to do." And I was like, "Really? Okay." So that already brought me some comfort as far as like my decision to not go to college, because I felt as if I wasn't smart enough. But lo and behold, I'm sitting in prayer and I'm like, "Lord, I don't understand what's going on. I feel like I'm just missing something. I feel like I need your guidance." And I remember so distinctively, for those who think that God won't talk to you, He will talk to you if you sit down and listen. If you position yourself to listen, He will speak. Because He spoke to me. He said, "I need you to go down to Pellissippi State Community College and apply." My face, y'all, when I say my face, was like, "You talking to me?" like literally, no disrespect, but I was just like, "You talking to me? Like, we already know the plan. I'm not going to college." And I was like, I kind of like sat there for a minute and I swallowed really hard. And I said, "For what?" And he said, "Sign up for psychology." I said, "That's one of the hardest things you can take." Like, I'm sitting, like literally sitting in prayer, and I'm like shocked, like stunned, like, what? And he said some other things to me, and I got from prayer, and I was kind of like baffled maybe for about a week. I was like, now, I've never disobeyed God. As far as, I'm not saying I never committed any sin or anything like that, but during that time, when I felt the leading of the Lord, I followed very quickly. There will be times I would be watching a movie or talking with friends. I'm like, "Hold on, guys, I gotta go take a second." And I would go down and pray if I felt like God was nudging me to do that. I was very in tune and very connected. So I did not feel like I would just purposely not follow His guidance. But I did this time. I struggled for about a week, and I finally followed in the footsteps of the prayer, and I went down to Pellissippi State Community College. I applied, got in. I started taking my courses, and it was almost like through every class, even the intro classes, it was like through every class I was kind of seeing little snippets of my life story. Because I don't talk about my life story a lot. Even when I was a kid, I hold a lot of things just inside. I wasn't comfortable to just talk about my feelings. I've never been very comfortable talking about my feelings. I was always introverted, and I just kept everything inside. And like I told you before, I always had that shutdown issue, and so I was not accustomed to talk about my feelings at all. So that just wasn't a thing that I did. Starting to see small connections. And then after even in the midst of me being in school, I was very active in the church. I was teaching classes. I was teaching a teenager class. I was teaching Sunday school. And I was just starting to see how a lot of things were just falling in line. And even after I graduated, I felt that God was calling me to preach. And so I went to my pastor, and I was, telling him about, what I was feeling and what I was believing about what God was calling me to do. And so after that, I went into training under my pastor to become a minister. And so during that time, I was also ministering. And so I was ministering, I was teaching, I was all the things that I learned from school. I was also in a dance ministry, which I'll talk about that in a whole nother video. And I just started to see how literally the puzzle was coming together. Don't you know how you put out a puzzle and everything is just scattered, and you're almost thinking that this is going to be impossible. How in the world am I going to complete this? And you start separating, you start seeing the colors, and this part is darker, this part is lighter, and you start to separate it. And as you're separating it, you're realizing that things are starting to come together. And I started to see that mess of a puzzle starting to be separated. And then I'm starting to see how, okay, this is fitting with this, and this is fitting with this, and this is fitting with this. And it was just mind-boggling, literally mind-boggling, just how simply following what I was told in prayer that day changed my life completely. After I finished this program, I got a job working with troubled teenage girls at a facility, and that is where I was able to really acknowledge my purpose in life. And it was then that I knew that prayer that I followed, that from that time, it would have been 7 years ago, literally set me on the path to my purpose. Now, when I was doing hair, I was doing that God gave me. I was pursuing something that God put in me. I was using the skill and the ability that God gave me. But sometimes when you just go off of the skill and the talent that God gave you, that doesn't mean that that's the purpose that He gave you. Or it may mean that that's not the purpose for that time. God allowed me to, God used that talent to help me through some really tough times in my life. If I did not know how to do hair, just my clientele, there was a lot of times that I struggled, and I know I wouldn't have made it through. So God gave me that God-given talent for times in my life where I was going to need them, but He did not destine for that to be my purpose in my life. My purpose in my life is what I'm doing now, working with troubled teenage girls, working with female inmates. I'm finished my master's so I can be a therapist. That's where it's at. That's where my purpose is at, is being a therapist. And it wasn't easy to identify that. It wasn't easy. I set myself up to run from it, y'all. Did y'all not I realized that I set myself up to run from it. When I went to my mom that day, I was planting a seed of negativity in my own life, saying that I'm not smart enough to go to college. I don't want to go to college. I'm not going to go to college. I was planting a seed against my own design purpose. And if it wasn't for God stopping me and bringing me back, like literally stopping me, because he would not let anything go through. If he would have let it go through, I don't know where I would have been. I don't know how long it would have actually took me to get on that road, you know, my right road to my purpose. And I can say that I've always said this, I love doing hair. I will forever do hair. I will always, I promise God that I will always use the ability that he has given me. But I know now, in looking back, that even in the times where I was enjoying doing hair the most, I felt like I was missing something. I felt like there was something more that I was supposed to be doing. And if I would have stayed in that, I would not be as fulfilled as I am today. Being able to start this YouTube channel is just another segment into what I believe what I was designed to do. And it is sharing knowledge. I love knowledge. I love education. I'm always reading something. I'm always watching podcasts. Always in my Bible. Well, I know I got to get back to that. Actually, I was always in my Bible, and I feel like my heart is more content. I feel like my mind has a clearer view and a clearer path of direction. I don't feel that spacey. I don't feel like I'm out of place anymore. There are still things that I'm working on as far as mindset, and that's one video I'm going to bring to you guys. Cognitive distortions. I don't know if you all know a lot about cognitive distortions, but cognitive distortions are those negative thinking patterns that reoccur in our lives when we are placed in similar situations. So, for example, when I can think back to a situation that may have caused me fear or guilt or shame or just something that was just unpleasant, I remember what I felt and what I thought in those situations, and my mind immediately draw my thought patterns and my feelings from that situation and place it when I have a similar situation as that. And throughout life, we experience a lot of cognitive distortions because our brain is basically trying to help us out and trying to give us a solution, but the only thing it's giving us is what it already knew. Unless you download something new into your mind, you will forever fulfill that cognitive distorted thinking pattern. And so that is also another part of why people tend to veer off from their purpose. But maybe it'll be a part 3. I don't know, because cognitive distortions, it actually does fall in line with why people do not fulfill their purpose, or why they stay away from their purpose so long, because they teach themselves, almost kind of like how I did. I almost self-sabotage myself out of my purpose by that simple conversation, that simple negative thought of me not being smart enough to go to college. I still don't even know where that came from, to be honest with you guys. You know what? Actually, I do know where it came from. And I think I'm going to save that for a later video. I think I may actually do a part 3 instead of for a later video, because my cognitive distortions came from being bullied. Being bullied all throughout elementary school. That's where the root of a lot of things in my life started. Just like my view of myself, my view of the world, my view of God, how I came to really believe in God. Even the period of time of where I questioned if I wanted to believe in God. So I'll definitely be doing a video on that, because I think that would just give insight to how trauma can really influence a person's thinking, and how it can also derail them from their purpose. So I hope that this video was a blessing to someone. I hope that once again it was a seed planted for you to really sit down with yourself and really start to look within yourself and see, what can I identify through skill or talent that God has given me that is connected to my divine purpose. If we don't find our purpose, we will forever feel lost. We will forever be on this journey of wondering. We will forever be on this journey of trying to act and be like everyone besides ourselves. We will forever be on the journey of searching through social media, of finding our self-identity. Whenever you are doing something that is against what you are designed to do, you find yourself in a constant mental and emotional struggle. And there is a way out. Because God has designed us for our individual purpose, all you have to do is look within yourself and you will find the answers. Because God will never expect of you to do anything that He has not prepared you to do. He will never guide you into something that He will not supply you for. So stop trying to look everywhere else to find your purpose. It's not everywhere else. There are some things that can lead you and can influence your thinking to guide you there. But everything that you need to know about you is already in you. Because you were designed that way. You got to go to the instruction manual. You got to go to God and you got to start asking the questions. Only He can really effectively answer those questions. Because He is the one who designed you. And only the Creator knows the design. Only the Creator knows the design and what they designed is supposed to function. So once again, I encourage you to really start digging deep within yourselves and start to find your purpose. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to look within. The answers are there. I promise you, they are there. They are there. So I'm going to end the video now, but like I said, I hope that this has said something that has caused you to think, that it caused you to want to dig deeper, and most importantly, I hope that we we in the world today, that we'll start to accept ourselves more for who we are. That you have a blessed rest of your day, and until next time, God bless.